So it looks like Microsoft is making some pretty significant changes, and if you're an Xbox owner, you're going to want to go ahead and pay attention to this video because I've got all the impressive details coming at you. So yeah, some pretty interesting stuff. And listen, I've said it before and I'll say it again. One of the big things that I do like about like new generations of gaming and things like that is the fact that we're no longer stuck with like a static console or whatever. Back in the day, you get a console and it's basically just stuck how it is, and that's sort of unfortunate in my opinion because I think like there's so much more that could be added in there, but we'll see what happens. And again, some of this stuff you might not think is cool or whatever. I personally think this is some nice things, and I want to get into it because, like I said, should be fun. What's up, everybody? I'm Crab Gamer. This is Crab Gamer Reviews with another video. Thank you so much for checking it out. Please like, share, subscribe. I would appreciate that. It helps out my channel. It means a lot to me personally. If you guys could definitely do that. It helps the videos to be seen, so that's like the important thing. I do daily gaming content. If you didn't know, try to be fun yet informative. So yeah, there is that. Thank you guys so much for rocking out with me all the time. So there is a new update it is releasing for everybody. The console details are pretty interesting to say the least. Lest. That's not even a word, is it? No, of course not. Anyway, so basically what's happening, it's going to have some most recently used customizations. The recently played games and apps list on the home screen has 3 exciting new features that allow players to customize their experience. You can now hide system apps, pin favorites to the list, and reduce the number of tiles displayed. The update is part of their ongoing effort to make home a more personal, flexible, and responsive to feedback. This is the interesting thing to me, right? I did Mooch's show last Thursday. It was my first time back in a little while. I've been dealing with some things, but and what's funny to me is it's interesting because Microsoft is a software company. Services and software is kind of their thing. It's what they like to do, and so that should be something that they excel at. Sony, by instance, is a hardware company, and they do really good hardware. Like the PlayStation is really good, but you would think that their services and software wouldn't be as good. But it's like the PlayStation 5 UI is so much more fluid than the Xbox UI, right? And I don't even know how that could possibly be because it's a brand new UI, right? They went from a different one from PS4 to PS5. It's much more fluid and faster and just better realized than the Xbox one. And Microsoft does Windows, for crying out loud, right? And the Xbox UI is laggy and doesn't load, and it's always got some kind of issues. It's just terrible by comparison. So it's always funny to me that the software company is bad at the actual UI software, and that the hardware company was better at it than it. I don't know. It's just weird to me. So anyway, to find the new settings, go to Settings, General, Personalization, Games and Apps, or go to My Games and Apps, Manage Games and Apps. To pin and unpin favorites from the recently played list, select the tile in the list and use the menu button to find the new options. So yeah, like that is pretty cool stuff right there. In-game benefits for free-to-play games as well. It says they're making it easier for players on Xbox consoles and mobile to discover the in-game benefits for select free-to-play games that are available with Game Pass Ultimate and PC Game Pass Ultimate memberships. On consoles, check the More Benefits page to discover in-game benefits available for free-to-play games. On mobile, you'll find in-game benefits for free-to-play games on the game's product detail page. Members will get items like cosmetic skins, character unlocks, in-game currency, and additional features for free-to-play titles. And also Game Hubs. Now available to all players, Game Hubs provide relevant information about the selected games, including player stats, achievements, friends currently playing, recent captures, available add-ons, events, and more. Game Hubs will appear whenever a player selects a game from their recently played game list, groups, or installed game. The default focus in Game Hubs is always on the play button, so players can jump right into the action with a quick double tap of the A button from a game tile to start playing. They've also added new settings that allow players to decide where Game Hubs are enabled. To find the settings, press the Xbox button and go to Profile and System, Settings, General, Personalization, Games and Apps. And I get it, they're adding some cool stuff. But it's like to make this thing work, go through these 18 different steps. I don't know. It's just kind of funny to me that they're doing it. But at the same time, nice to see that they're kind of working on this stuff, and that they're kind of at least finally paying attention to some of the feedback that fans are asking for, to kind of say the least. But anyway. We'll see how this works. Like I said, Microsoft, they are a software company, so they've got to pay attention. And I feel like they're at a point where they can't afford to lose anymore. And you might not understand what I'm talking about, but they got their butts kicked by PlayStation. They got their butts kicked by Sony. Now they're turning their kind of look towards Steam, whatever the case may be. But to me, anyway, it just is always kind of funny when this kind of stuff happens, and it's just like the only reason why they're focusing on like this PC handheld and things like that is probably because at the end of the day they see the Steam OS kind of going out there dominating and be better regarded than their own, so they want to go out there and kind of be competitive against that. And I think that's something that jumping from, hey, let's go fight Sony, let's fight Nintendo, let's go fight Steam. It's like, you could have picked your battles a little bit better. You know what I mean? But anyway, it says they're also adding some improvements across the board on some back end stuff and things like that as well. So yeah, nice to see that happening. Good on Microsoft for making sure that they're keeping things kind of relevant and keeping things up to date. And making sure that the games and gamers have lots of stuff to play. So I like hearing that. I'm sure you guys like hearing that stuff as well. It's interesting, like I said, to see Microsoft kind of add in some of these features and things like that, things that people have been asking for a while now. And at the end of the day, is this going to work out well for their favor? Listen, I don't know. I can't really, say what's going to happen or whatever. It's like I could give my opinion on some of these things, but at the same point in time, it's like, what good does that really do me if if I'm wrong or whatever? Because anybody can be wrong. It's just I try to be as right as possible with this stuff, and and at the end of the day, Microsoft really has to kind of take it upon themselves to go out there and make sure that people have the things that they're asking for, because I think that's the key point, and that's really the thing, is like the majority of people are asking for Xbox exclusives and things like that, like at least something exclusive. And it doesn't look like we're going to be getting that stuff too soon anyway. But we'll see what happens, and how that kind of changes in the future or whatever. But at the same point in time, listen, I don't really have anything to kind of really add to that. I just think that it's one of those things that Microsoft kind of is going to continue to do, and the updates and things like that. I just wish, why not just start from scratch? I know they're all about this Windows stuff, but it's like, what you've been doing for the last decade plus isn't working, and I think that is, realistically, just something that doesn't do a lot of, that doesn't kind of do a lot of things for me personally. So we'll see how this kind of happens, and if it's something that Microsoft can kind of change or whatever the case may be. And at the end of the day, I hope that Microsoft can kind of get things right. I would love to see how Microsoft can do these things, and how Xbox can kind of change the future of gaming or whatever. But some of these things that they're doing, the updates and stuff, they're cool. I enjoy seeing them. I'm sure a lot of you guys enjoy seeing them as well. But I would love to hear you guys' thoughts and opinions on this while we're at it. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you guys do enjoy the content, please like, share, subscribe. I would appreciate that. It definitely means a lot to me, and I definitely want to continue hearing from you guys. So yeah, have an awesome day. And again, if there's ever any kind of content that you guys would like to hear, please just let me know. you know, that would be like the most awesome thing that you guys could do and help out the channel. Like I said, a simple like really does mean a lot in my opinion. So thank you guys. Have a great day. Rack 'em up, fact 'em up, Crap Gamer 'em up. Thank you so much. Crap Gamer out.